So yesterday, I gave a talk to 300 people in mostly the private sector, and I talked about the challenges that the private sector and capitalism faces today. And this is the list. And these are problems to society, but they're also, in particular, challenges to capitalism. And what I argue to them is corporations have to take a role. They have to play a role here. They can't, but they can't solve any of these problems by themselves. And I argue, now, you and all societies have been trying to get corporations to be more socially responsible. You know, not just be short-term, profit-oriented. So the first response of corporations, when they hear this request to be more responsible, is to give money. That's the philanthropy stage. They say, you know, you're not helping society. They say, of course we are. We gave at the office. Here's how much money we've donated. Here's how many hours of volunteer time our employees have done. And we'll show pictures in our annual report of our employees painting schools. You know, that's our contribution to society. You know, volunteers by employees and contributions by the corporation. Yeah, that's not good enough. That's really, it doesn't get much done. You know, it's a tax. It's a tax on the company and it's a tax on the employee's time to the volunteer. And it's a tax without any outcomes. How has society improved as a result of these philanthropic activities? We have no idea. No. We spent the money, but no outcomes. The next stage is corporate social responsibility. And the people who developed this idea made a terrible mistake. They chose the wrong name. This is a horrible name. When you hear responsibility, what word occurs to you? Burden, tax, duty. That's the wrong mindset. It's again like philanthropy. It's a more formal way of saying you have to give. You have to spend money. You have to meet, of course you have to meet regulations. But you see increasingly companies are doing CSR and telling you how much money they give. How many drugs they donate in Africa, how many computers they donate to the schools. And say, there's nothing wrong with this. Is good, but it's not sustainable. And it's done on the side by companies. You know? It's a way of keeping the advocates and the government people off their backs. You know, they're doing it reactively and in response to these external demands. And it also means it's not part of their strategy. It's still it feels like a burden or a tax. And so the new approach that we want to be encouraging companies to do is what we call shared value, creating shared value, where the companies contribute to society, not because of a burden or a regulation or because of noisy NGOs. They do it because they're making money. And this is the best way to sustain a corporate commitment to social and environmental improvement is when they can make money doing it. And it's built into their strategy, and therefore it's built into their performance and their accountability. So this idea was articulated 5 years ago by Michael Porter in an award-winning paper, Creating Shared Value. So they create shared value and they enhance their competitiveness. That's business school language for they make money. If you enhance your competitiveness, you're making money. High return on investment, while advancing economic and social conditions in the communities in which they operate. This is something we can sign up for. This is the challenge. And how does this occur? It can occur, and this is the work at the bottom of the pyramid that C.K. Prahalad introduced to us nearly 15 years ago. Now, how do we design and package products and services, both physical products as well as financial services and telecommunication services, and internet services, so they're accessible by very low-income people at the bottom of the pyramid, and make money doing that. And companies have found they can do that. which means they're happy to do it, and they'll continue to do it and expand to do it. On environment, gets back to Japanese management. Just eliminate waste. You eliminate waste, you reduce pollution, and you make more money. And sometimes companies, if they're very successful, will reach a scale where it justifies public investment in infrastructure, in roads, in ports, railroads, telecommunications, and that makes people better off. But to solve these problems, to create that value in the communities, businesses can't do it by themselves. So you can take very enlightened businesses and put them in a very badly governed country, like Venezuela or Bolivia or Argentina or Greece. And there's almost nothing that a company can do, or even a collection of companies, to make the citizens better off, because the governments are so dysfunctional and ineffective and inefficient that it overwhelms even the best interests of corporations. So actually, businesses can't be successful in unsuccessful communities. And I think businesses recognize that. The converse is also true. Communities cannot be successful without a very vibrant, successful business community. Because ultimately, it's the private sector that creates wealth and jobs and income. And so one of the best things you can do as a community or as a region is to encourage the establishment and growth of corporations. It's kind of obvious if you look at the data, but many governments don't perform this way. They make it difficult for corporations to start. 365 days to get a permit. This is ridiculous. It's in your best interest to have as many companies start as possible. If they're not good, the market will take care of it. They'll go out of business. So let 1,000 businesses bloom, and 10 or 15% will become your Nokias or your Amazons, and that'll be fantastic. You're not going to be able to select who's successful and not successful. That's what markets do. Allow the market to operate. Allow businesses to come in, hire people, innovate. Some will fail. Some won't. And ones that won't will create great wealth. So the shared value opportunity is where there's societal needs. You need income, you need jobs, you need health. Businesses seize an opportunity where they can deliver on some of that, and they have expertise and capabilities that they can deploy in order to meet the societal need. And so we have to find ways for this to occur. So we're getting near the end, and I hope this will now all come together. So I mentioned earlier that the creation of the strategy map and selecting the measures creates this consensus and a commitment among the executive team who does this. And that makes the likelihood of success of that strategy much more likely. I'm sorry, can you go back? I clicked too fast there. Okay, fine, thank you. All right. So we have that. And so this will work in the government, and it works in the private sector. But get back to the salmon recovery story, where we mix people from different agencies to come together to create the strategy. So now when you find corporations and businesses who want to invest in your communities in ways that are socially and environmentally responsible, as well as economically profitable, they're going to need the help of the government. So let's invite the people, representatives of the local government, either the village, the municipality, or the province, to sit in on those discussions and participate. And invite in the NGO, if that may be relevant. And they should be at the table. And just as that group co-created a salmon recovery balanced scorecard, imagine if we had public sector people, corporate people, NGO people in the same room co-creating a strategy map and balanced scorecard for a major infrastructure or presence in some part of Indonesia. they'll come out of this with a feeling that, this is something that we can all deliver on. There'll be different accountabilities. There'll be things corporation has to do, things the public sector has to do, and there'll be things the NGO has to do. We'll have measures for all that, and we'll meet. We'll have a governance structure, because we can meet quarterly to review the data, to see how well we're doing, and where are the gaps, and where are the shortfalls, and where do we need to go better. We get and all three sectors are sitting in on those meetings and discussing and problem solving. And why this is very exciting is this is the essence of democracy.